Welcome back to English 343 Writing and Well-Being for Lecture 3 today. I'm not going to discuss the CAR required readings today, CAR chapters 6 and 7. I'm going to leave you to your own devices to read and interpret those chapters. Decide for yourselves what the main thesis, the main claim or the thesis is for each chapter and the subordinate claims. And I suggest, just following the model I set forth in the lectures for chapters 1 through 5, and just carry through with that thinking through 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you would like to meet to discuss this, the material and make sure you're kind of um, understanding what I mean by deep reading through this material, please do email me. We can discuss the material via email, over the phone, or in person on campus today, tomorrow, or really anytime through the semester. So I am available. So rather than discuss this material, of course, I'll read your interpretation of that in the CAR book review that's due on the 28th. And so rather than discuss it today, I'd like to turn to library research methods, because if you want to get a head start somewhere this semester on the annotated bibliography, I want to make sure you know how to get to the articles. So just to get your head around this assignment, right, starting on July 10th, we'll be reading the various required readings that I've already offered you on the Canvas site, right? So these are all the required readings in addition to the two books that you should be summarizing and evaluating in your annotated bibliography assignment as we proceed through them on these dates. And then July 15, 16, and 17 are dedicated to just the additional 4 research articles you need to find and summarize and evaluate for the assignment. And again, that's how we get from the required readings, the 7 that I've assigned, all the way to the 11. The difference is the 4 you need to find. I hope you use those 4 articles to really explore an interest within writing and well-being that's meaningful to you, right? Maybe you're interested in relationship between free writing and sleep quality. Great, research that for those 4 articles. Maybe you're interested in dreams and keeping a dream journal by the bed to write in when you wake up from dreams each morning, and the kind of best practices involved with dream interpretation as a form of self-care. Whatever your interest, I say, I hope you'll use these articles in that light. So, how do you find these articles? I would suggest doing this using, the library's existing electronic databases. So, if you just go to library.niagara.edu, you should find this main page, and then go to research and databases, right? So databases are large repositories of thousands of journals, academic journals online. And journals are just simply a form of magazine, right? A periodical used in the academy. And so the best place to start for almost any search in general scholarship is Academic Search Premier. It's really robust and has a lot of breadth to it. So let's just go to Academic Search Premier. If you're off campus, you'll have to log in with your PASS credentials. And then this is the standard Academic Search Premier main page. So I'd suggest clicking full text and scholarly journals, and that should cover it down here. And then in here, just type the search phrase, that keys into your interest. A lot of social scientists who study free writing call it expressivist or expressive writing, and that precedent was begun by James Pennebaker in his early work in the late 1980s, and so a lot of social scientists have continued with that. You could search for expressive writing, free writing, sometimes automatic writing as well. So I'll just search for something like expressive writing and anxiety and see what comes up. So you can see here, Academic Search Premier found 24 articles related to anxiety and expressive writing, and you can get a sense of these articles. I wouldn't trust the URL web links. Where possible, download the PDF file to really read it and have have that accessible on or off campus. This one looks pretty good. Has to do with expressive writing and test anxiety. Um, Here's a different article published in Psychophysiology having to do with chronic worry. A lot of these are academic in nature, having to do with expressive writing, and I guess yeah, test anxiety, math anxiety in school, which is an interesting kind of line of research. But there are others. So this is what you would do. You would just run through these and hopefully find articles that are useful for you, and then download the PDFs for that study. You don't have to do all four articles on the same theme. If you wanted to, maybe you find one or two good ones on expressive writing and anxiety. Great. You could also use it then for, you use two articles on anxiety and two articles on something else, maybe. Who knows? Maybe expressive writing and grief. If you are interested in grief and bereavement work, or expressive writing, so you have your whole only two in this area. That's surprising. In this case, you'd have to go to a different database, probably something like in psychology, like this is a good one, psych articles. Let's see what this one shows. If we do that same search, we might get more. $20, yeah, and so that would be the second database I would suggest using, and that's where you get a sense of the difference between Academic Search Premier, which is a broad a broad database, but if it comes up sort of short, then you would go to a more discipline specific database like this psychology database, and then continue on and find more. And so that's really all I wanted to show you today was how to get into this system and how to find the articles. And I wanted to mention, yes, that you need the four articles, and they can be all be on the same theme or on four different themes. It's really up to you. I would say, though, of course, it's not stated in the syllabus, but these need to be substantial articles, right? You don't go find 1 or 2 page or even 3 page, short pieces to summarize, unless they are experimental research. But I would suggest getting substantial pieces so you have something to well summarize and evaluate. And again, if you have any questions, just email me, and we can discuss over the phone or in person. Thanks.